Hello. I don't know how all this is coming through. It's looking like it's not that great. I was getting some stuff ready, so hopefully it'll kind of chill out a little bit. We'll see what happens. So yes. Let me get that ready. Why? Okay, fine. Trying to get the Oshkosh Notum up. Because we'll go over that at some point. That's the plan anyway. We're gonna start out. Let me web. This one. That one. Yay. I forgot to actually look at where we were gonna go. Oh, and I should check this to make sure it's working properly. I didn't do any of my... Hello, how's it going? Hope things are... probably not as much story time as usual. I think we started out from Portage last time. We'll start out from Portage this time as well. So we're, oh, actually, that's what we're gonna do. Don't want that. Well, I mean, it's always fun. Well, gosh darn it. And we're back, kind of. We'll see what happens. Let me go like this for a second. Bum-ba-dum, bum-ba-dum. So yeah, it's always fun, but I wanted to do like a couple of different things. So yes, the Oshkosh as usual. And then yeah, potentially a little, gosh darn it, I'm trying to get weather. Oh, it probably doesn't have weather. Where's our weather here? 200, so 18 would work. So yes, we will go to Portage. We will do our actually I want to see 47 there. And we'll figure out from there. Oh, exactly 100. That seems perfect. I like that. I like that a lot. So yes, so we'll do our normal multi stuff. Hopefully Storytime can just finish 10 statute miles. We're losing it. Are we back? I'm pretty sure we're back. That doesn't mean we're stable. I don't know if it's gonna be like this though. Probably not gonna work. We haven't even gotten the sim up yet. Did everything I'm supposed to. Well, so I will say, I did have to update OBS recently. So hopefully that isn't the issue. Oh, sorry. Back to our web. So that looks like it's fine. We'll check out our, boom. Ah, that's not what I wanted. Shoot. Open a new tab. Okay. So we'll check out our ODPs. Take off minimums, if there are any. Decora, there it is. Zoom. Departure procedure for runway 29er, climb heading 294 to 1600 before turning left. Okay. Are we going to be using runway 29er? What runways do we have? 11 and 29er. And the weather is variable. So 29er, we'd like to do 11 so we can go straight out, but I suppose we'll see once we get in there. We can go up to, we'll go up to 6,000 or 8,000, I think, since we have that long of a way to go. We'll go with 6, that way we're not climbing too long. And then we're gonna come in. And we will be looking at RNAV 18 at Portage. It is correct up to date. Approach course 181, runway length 3672, touchdown zone elevation 819, airport elevation 824. Irrelevant, we're not going to be flying at night. And we're using Baraboo's altimeter setting. Baraboo! Sorry. We double check our frequencies. And then we would plan, we're coming from the east and we would be coming towards our destination, but then we would get our 2 hopes. We would get cleared 2 hopes. We would do we're coming from like over here probably. So we would do a teardrop, boom, to intercept the inbound course and then fly straight in. Super nice, easy. 2,600 is going to be our initial altitude. And then we're going to go all the way to Ifyaz. So 2 hopes through the procedure turn, or Hilden Lua procedure turn. And then to our final approach fix of Ifyaz. Then we would descend to our 1560 by Kapud. And then our actual minimums would be 1260. So we have localizer performance, but no vertical guidance. So I'm just curious as to maybe due to probably all those obstacles right at Kapud. So that is probably the reason. So we will not have a glide slope. We will be maintaining those altitudes. So once again, we'll be doing our localizer performance. We have that capability, and it'll be at 1260 minimums with 1 statute mile visibility. Runway 18 is our missed approach point, at which point we would do a climbing left turn to 2,600 back to Hopes, at which we would hold. Excellent. Okay. It's gonna look like this, so we'll be coming straight in like that. No lights really to see or speak of. And we would land, taxi in, and see from there. Cool. I'm still seeing unstable. Let me make sure nothing's going on in the background again. Good. Okay. So I kind of don't want to bring the flight sim in yet until it kind of gets a little bit better of a foothold. So let me get our NOTAM up and we'll go over that. So yes, a couple other things to start. So I haven't been consistently flying, having lessons, things like that for either myself or my students. Various other things, I guess. It's still been a busy month, but I guess somewhat more like personal stuff. Not all personal, but like other than Oshkosh, I was able to go to Oshkosh. We'll talk about that. But I was also able to go to a different air show. I won't say when. And that was super cool. It was nice getting back to that. And yeah, being able to get out of the grind a bit, especially having gotten to my 1,500 hours and everything. So got to go there, realized I will have, I needed to be better about like sunscreen and stuff. So that was good to know. Got to talk to, there was a military plane I got to go and see, and I was able to talk to somebody in there, and they pointed me in the direction of somebody who I could talk to for like my guard stuff that and so talked to that person. They gave me the name of another person who was actually on the thing for one of the points of contact for one of the packages I'll be sending out. And I emailed that person and didn't get a response. It's like, okay. But it was fun and it was cool, and getting into that stuff was good, and learning to talk to people a little bit more, especially in this stuff, was good. And yeah. So that was that. I've gotten to do some family time and stuff for my church over the last whatever, and yeah. So, and anywhere all over the place in there. And so after this, we'll start talking about our actual flying stuff. So, for now, we'll talk about our notice, our Oshkosh 2026 notice. Bum, bum, bum. So it is all over now. However, yeah, we'll plan. Where is it? VFR. Bum, bum, bum. We're gonna do the full thing, I guess. I thought about, since we were gonna be doing the multi anyway, trying the slightly offset altitude one. So the faster aircraft use 135 knots and 2,300 if needed for safety of flight. Expect descent at or after Fisk. However, I think I would like to do the tailwheel for that instead. So we'll do our normal multi-engine IFR stuff, do an approach, land at that, where was it again? Portage. And then we will hopefully swap into a tailwheel aircraft and see how that goes, because I have story times for that. So, our procedure used by all VFR aircraft landing. Procedure starts. Use one of the ATC designated transitions to rip on. Planning, plan your arrival, fuel status. Ensure lights are on within 50 miles of Osh. Leave transponder on. Throughout approach. Bum, 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 bum. Arrive at transition point at 90 knots. So we must maintain our 90 knots. That'll be interesting in the tailwheel. Okay, we'll see what happens. Maximum cruising speed. Okay, we should be fine. We should be fine with the 90 knots. Begin the procedure at the ATC designated transition starting point. ATC will advertise the transition starting point on the arrival ATIS. However, real-time changes may be made on Fisk approach frequency. Pick out an aircraft of similar type and speed to follow. Remain at least half mile in trail behind the aircraft you are following. Do not fly side by side unless you are a flight. Do not overtake another aircraft. Do not S-turn to follow another aircraft. Instead, break off the procedure and proceed to the starting point and follow another aircraft of similar speed. Okay, so we are down here, and we'll pop this. We're doing both of them today. VFR, IFR, all the things. So we have so it starts here. We'll go up to Endeavor Bridge. So we'll just follow this road up to Endeavor Bridge, Puckaway Lake, Green Lake, Rip on, Fisk, and then proceed. Variable at 6 knots. So, oh no, why? I'll have to check on that before we start the sim. Call your aircraft by color and type. Oh no! Let me pause this for a second. So we lost it for a bit and it reconnected. So see what happens again from here. It said it was excellent quality, or yeah, not unstable quality for a little bit. So hopefully we'll see. At Fisk, controllers will call your aircraft by color and type, if known. No verbal response is required. Do not understand, blah, blah, blah. When you're in the immediate vicinity of Fisk, less than 2 miles, ATC will issue a runway assignment, transition to the airport, and appropriate tower frequency to monitor. Do not proceed beyond Fisk or change to tower frequency without ATC authorization. Aye. Runway assignments for the airport will include either follow the railroad tracks northeast, or reaching Fisk, turn right, follow east-west road, Fisk Avenue. Okay, continue following the railroad tracks, or Fisk Avenue runs 90 degrees from the town of Fisk. Do not confuse this road with Highway 44. Large microwave tower is located approximately 1 mile east of Fisk and a quarter mile south of Fisk Avenue. Navigate close to Fisk Avenue on the south side, but remain north of the microwave tower. Landing approach. A waiver has been issued reducing arrival and departure separation standards for Category 1 and 2. Single engine light twin. Pilot should be prepared for a combination of maneuvers that may include a short approach with descending turns followed by touchdown at a point specified by ATC, which may be almost halfway down the runway. Use extra caution to maintain a safe airspeed throughout the approach to landing. Maintain 90 knots until entering the pattern. Landing pilots may see aircraft departing from or crossing the landing runway, but not hear ATC communications with those aircraft. Oh, good. Good to know. Flights of aircraft. We're not going to be a flight. Large formation arrivals. That's not going to be us either. The Fisk VFR arrival will close prior to all scheduled airport closures. What the? I'm on awfully early. Oh, yes. This is like the only time I could get in this month. Hello, by the way. How's it going? I apologize for the current quality. I'm hoping it's getting better as we're just kind of sitting here going over the Oshkosh NOTAM. But otherwise we'll see if it's not going to be, if it's unbearable to be watching. I don't know. We might not be able to go fly. So, but yes, happy you're here. And yeah, it's been busy. Not as much flying, but other stuff. So yeah, I hope you've been well. Let me know what you've been up to. For now, Fisk holding. We are going to ignore holding. Because yes, we're not going to go around Green Lake. We're not going to go around Rush Lake. Our Fisk arrival, once again, if we go into here. So I think we've done runway, shoot. I was going to say we'll come back to this, but let me just see if anywhere else is giving. So this one's 210 variable to 290, so I'm guessing we'd be going 27. Let's go with 27. I think we have landed on that one before, but that's fine. So yeah, 27. We follow the railroad tracks from Fisk, right downwind, base, and final to land. I was gonna say we could do the white dot, but if I'm flying the tailwheel, we might want more runway. So we'll see. We'll see how if and when we get that. Well, you know what? 3100. Wait, hang on. Oh, wait, I'm not supposed to land on the white dot going this direction. So the green dot is technically the one that we would aim for if we wanted the furthest one that we're allowed to land on. My volume is pretty low. Oh no, is it? Hang on. See, and this is the thing. I do. Thank you for letting me know. I'm gonna go like this. And it could be just because I think I've started talking lower than usual in general. Because my headset when flying has been a little bit. Let me try this a little bit. Maybe that'll work a bit better. Kind of, maybe. Let me try it again. I'll listen and see. Not that I want to hear myself, but... Is that better? I hope so. And you know what? Maybe I should. I just assume this thing can just pick up all of the things, but I'll try going like this a little bit. That way it projects into the microphone a bit better. La 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 la. I've adjusted the settings as well. So hopefully that's better. Thank you for letting me know. And let me know if it's not, and I'll try to, yeah. I have to get back my projection that I used to have from my theater, but we'll see. Yes, so we'll plan maybe for the green dot, or if it depends. It depends on how well the tailwheel flying goes. And if it goes okay, maybe we'll be adventurous and try for the green dot. But otherwise, perhaps we'll try for that displace threshold. So yeah, so that is... Yeah, that should be good. May require a short approach. Airport elevation 808. Oshkosh Tower North 118.5. Turn downwind over the gravel pit and begin descent. And then go. Okay, sounds good. Turn base prior to reaching shoreline. Okay. Do not continue past shoreline unless advised by ATC. If go around is needed, notify ATC immediately for resequencing. After land. Okay. I have to go back through and check my schedule to figure out what this was. Oh no. We lost it again. Ah. Oops. So I think we're back, but not quite as, not what it should be, I guess. Well, maybe if I end up getting quickly through story times, we'll just have to call it. I'm sorry. We'll see what happens. Okay. Running back through. I'll try to be less loquacious. So yeah, last we talked, I was working on my applications. I had gotten one out, surprisingly, sort of. And from there, it happened a lot faster than I thought, where I had to get documents and stuff out and in. And so I was like, okay, I have to get all of this stuff done. And it was right before 4th of July. And it was like, oh my gosh, I got all this stuff to do. Was able to get all that done, I guess, at some point. And that was good, I guess. And then I was supposed to go have a day at work airport, and my inconsistent instrument student canceled again right on stream, but I was able to go with a consistent instrument student. Had a long, okay, so starting with a doozy of a story. So went off to do our instrument stuff. Did a VOR approach straight in with a DME arc, ILS, and missed approach plus hold. ILS for a circle to land. RNAV for a straight in. RNAV back to work airport, partial panel, and straight in. And then I have a little note in there, NOTAMs, because as we were on one of our second approach, we ended up going to 1, 2, 3, 4 airports, not including work airport. And our second airport, first approach, I think, I got a text from one of the new CFI over at work airport. And without one of the people who had a plane there, has a hangar there, basically his plane ended up incapacitated on the runway. So the runway was closed for the time being. So it was like, oh, okay, how's that going to work out? Because we would like to still get back in, but otherwise we were going to have to think about being somewhere else or going to a different airport. So he was handling it. Somebody else was there too, helping him handle it. So we went to a different airport to do another approach, got some fuel, went to a different, no, went there just for an approach, went to another airport for fuel just in case we would have to end up there instead. But they were able to get everything cleared out by the time, by the time we would have wanted to come back in, kind of. So that was good, and it was interesting. And I will say, that person, it wasn't surprising that they ended up in that position, and it's actually everybody's okay. But it was kind of like a little bit morbid, not morbid, but like how do I put it? I don't know, just mean natured a little bit, maybe, that a lot of us over there are actually happy that that person is not going to be in the air for a little bit. The pattern and skies are safe for a little bit. But we'll see. So yeah, hopefully it was a learning experience for said person, and maybe the attitude and actions will get better from there. So that was that one. Then was supposed to have I've been trying to get this. I was I was supposed to have a day at home airport. Was trying to get this charity flight in that I've been trying to get in for the past like 1-2 years at this point. And they had to cancel again, which is fun. And then my newest instrument student at home airport had to cancel for work. And then my formerly instrument, now commercial student, another doozy-ish. So I didn't fly a whole lot, but apparently each of these flights has been interesting. So we've been trying since working on his instrument to get him some actual time. And we were finally able to try. And so we filed from home airport to cross country and planned for it, got up in the clouds, and he was so excited, but so nervous. And we were getting that actual, and ATC comes on and they said, we should have gotten you on radar by now. I was like, yes. And then they were asking us to confirm distances and altitudes and stuff like that, and giving us certain things. And it got to a point where it was like, okay, we had to climb, and then we were out of the clouds. So it's being a pain for them, and we're not actually getting what we would like out of it. So we ended up just canceling, finishing off the flight VFR, and yeah, went to our destination airport, took back off from there, went and did. Yeah, so early cancel, first actual, got him an approach, did a VOR check and holds. And it was funny because he's a really, really good student, and he was not doing great at all when it came to those holds. So I got to give him crap about that. But I think it was a good experience of, like, you do, if you don't use it, you lose it. So yeah, so there was that. And then it was 4th of July. Happy 4th of July and everything, everyone. Hope you had a good one. It was fun. Mine was fun. Lots of family time and stuff. And yeah, it was good. So then, like at this point, I'm going to try the sim. I don't know. Maybe it'll make it worse, or maybe for some reason it will, I don't know, knock something loose computery wise and make it better. Oh, shoot. Actually, shoot. I needed to check my track IR. Oh, I'm sorry. Hello. It's okay to say someone sucks. Just come right out and say it. So, well, but I mean, yes, but I don't know. I don't want to be, oh, you want to know why? Because I'm a silly. That's why. Hang on. It didn't go because I didn't open the apps for it. Oh, look at that. There it is. See how good at this stuff I am now? If you don't use it, you lose it. Okay. A little nav map. We'll get those up there. We'll see if that does anything. But it is. It's like, it is. It wasn't just me. There were a few of us. And and again, so I forgot to mention, this person who had this thing happen was the person who almost landed on one of my students on a solo last summer. So, so we'll see what oh no. There goes the stream. So if it makes it even worse, I'll probably just have to whip through story times and... Oh? No. The kilobips were yellow for a little bit. It is not liking it at all. Come on, tough it out. I'm in the 60s of dropped frames, 60% of dropped frames at the moment. So we'll see. As that's trying, I'll keep talking, I guess. So let me see where I was at from there. Bum 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 bum. I worked on apps again, I guess, and figured out finance stuff. It appears from my thing. And then, oh, maybe it was this one. I don't know. So I was supposed to have a day. I had a day over at home airport. Another one. This was after the 4th. Had a day at home airport. Again, was supposed to do the charity flight, and again, didn't work out for whatever reason. Did GPS update for the plane. Went with someone who went with a family member who was instrumental, and very involved in when I was taking care of elderly female relative who yeah, sort of directly and indirectly got me into this. So, and it's been 5 years and we hadn't gotten to fly together. So we finally got to fly together, and she loved it. She was so happy. And yeah, it was great. I was really happy that worked out finally. Then the plane needed an oil change before my next lesson, which was with instrument student. And on that we did, I had to fix one of his past logbook entries because he hadn't put dual received, and I didn't catch it the time before. So, well, it sounds like at least you have the sim music on there. So yeah, we'll see what continues happening. So that day we did RNAV and missed. Oh, what did we have to do? The ceilings were a little low at our usual and closest airport, so we went to a different airport with a different approach and did that. It was interesting. We're just really getting into the approaches themselves. So worked on that, went missed twice, did a hold at the initial fix, talked about briefing the approach as well as GPS ops and the instrument scan. So, not that one. So we're gonna get the flight sima. Because if it does, if it's, I don't know. I'm hoping that it's just gonna start cooperating suddenly and we'll be okay. Optimism, right? Optimism. Which one am I looking for? This one. Bum, bum, bum. And select departure. I forgot where we were taking off from. Hang on. Why? Weather. Live weather. Oh yeah, my stupid live weather doesn't work either. I forgot to check why. And boop, 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 boop. Okay. So I don't know. Hopefully this will settle out a little bit now that we're all the way in here and everything's, gosh darn it, going, question mark. Ah, it's even worse, isn't it? I was gonna go like this. Can I go like this and... North Europe? That's awful. Okay, let me try that. Nope. Well, we'll see what happens when I do this. I said one more time, but we'll... I'm sorry. In case it wants to come back. Sim, because it's... yeah. Get rid of everything else. Yep. Track IR. Yep. If I can at least get it to a little bit where we can just finish story time at least, because that's... I don't have any more time for the next how long, so... So if we can just get it, I don't know, stabilized a bit, we'll run through that stuff. See what happens. Okay. Yeah, so inconsistent private student, instrument student. He still had to get me paid. So we were gonna, we had talked about flying again. We had gotten it booked and everything, and he had to cancel again. And then he mentioned he was going to bring a check anyway, and then he didn't end up bringing a check anyway, and he brought it later, close to the 4th, when it was like, I'm not going to be around, and he left it in a filing cabinet that was open to in the FBO. And I was like, okay, well, that's okay, thanks, but also we'll see. So I was able to run over there outside of when I was going to be over there, and I got it. It was fine, I guess. But yes, so that was good. Finally got paid. And then after that, I finally made the call to be like, hey, seems like things aren't working out all that great. So let me know when things settle down, and we'll get back to it. And he said, I was going to text you the same thing and got busy. And it was like, oh, okay, perfect. So down a student, which is okay because we hadn't been flying anyway. So that was that. So then, yeah, so I was going to slot him in the same day I was supposed to fly with consistent instrument student again, but I was just done. Plus, had to do GPS updates, and that went fine-ish, I guess. Took a little longer, but and consistent instrument student at work airport. I talked to him about it. The last flight that we did, I didn't have to say too much when it came to like procedural stuff and whatever, but he definitely needed to just like practice on stuff on his own. So that was kind of where I was at too. I was starting to get busy, and it was like, if I can let some of my students go and do stuff on their own for a little bit so I can handle my stuff, that would be great. So that's what I mentioned to him, is like, I don't want him paying me to just be kind of sitting there watching him figure stuff out when he could be figuring stuff out kind of on his own a little bit. So that was kind of our plan, but he wanted to do holds again. It was like, yes, we definitely needed to do some holds because we did some holds that time before. They weren't that great. So we went and practiced some holds. So while the GPS updates were finishing, we went over holds and unpublished holds and things like that. I did bring up Parallel the Holdopus. I'm not sure how well it went off, but we did. We went and did. Oh, right. Sorry, I have some other pictures in here. Yeah, went over a lot of holds. Holding procedures, unpublished, and a DME fix. Did an RNAV circle to land, RNAV straight in probably, as well as GPS ops. And then it was sort of like I got my stuff to be doing and he can, not be paying me. So then, I was still working on all the sorts of apps, getting documents together, pictures, scans, whatever of things, compiling everything, writing cover letter, adjusting cover letter, and things like that. As well as one of my instructors from back when, he just recently became a captain at one of the places I'm trying for, and we got to fly together again. He took me, I was going to do a multi-flight for practice, and he was able to go along. So that was fun. It was nice to see him again, hear about what's going on and everything. And then it was okay. I did okay. Could have done better, especially because I completely brain farted and forgot crosswind correction, and then forgot what runway I was on. So then I put the wrong crosswind correction when he mentioned something on the rollout. And I was so embarrassed. I was like, this person, they're going to be one of my references. And I did that. And so I lamented to my usual MEI, MEI afterward. And he's like, he's done things too. And it's we're all human and everything. And it's like, yeah, but it's difficult being the person in that position. But thank you. I'll keep that in mind. So yeah. So that was nice. That was fun. Then I was supposed to have another lesson with newest instrument student at home airport, but he wanted to do ground, which was fine. I mean, it would have been nice to go fly, but we did. We had some ground to go over. We went over all of the things, approaches. Let me find my note. IFR, navigation and flight planning. That was that one? Oh, navigation and flight planning, filing, regulations and procedures. So what he wanted and what I had been planning to do for him as well, because the last time we did it, I had been trying to like set not a sort of a precedent, but a primacy of how things actually worked. So like all of the procedures, so like including ATC and everything. So we do our craft clearance and then we go through the rest of this stuff. And then, oh, okay. I guess I'm a little far. Yeah, so getting that whole like overview too, and then just kind of letting him do the approach. And I think it got a little bit overwhelming. So that's something I'm going to have to work on and figure out. But my plan was to kind of go over on the ground. This is how things are going to go. And then just focus on the flying in the air. But he had wanted to do some ground. He might have had to leave as well. So we did. We focused on that and went over like the actual procedures and how all that stuff kind of works. Yeah, so that was that. Yeah. So then I think after that week, so yeah, so my one instrument student over at home airport has been he hasn't been around for a while. He was going to wait until after Oshkosh. So we're going to be getting back to it. And then that student, my other instrument student at home airport, he was going to be gone and on vacation and other things. So we weren't going to be flying again. So yeah, I had very, very few students at the time, which it ended up being okay because I could focus on my stuff. But then the next, hang on, where is it? Where is it? Did some personal stuff. And then was again supposed to have, I was supposed to have a day at home airport, but the charity flight, once again, that I was supposed to do, we're on hold for a while. We'll see how that goes. And then my instrument student had to cancel for work. And then I was going to go do some multi and decided again, I don't remember why. I had stuff to do probably. And then my student canceled again for work. And then that was when he was like, well, we'll get back to it after he's back. So then was supposed to have a lesson with my former private student who finished up elsewhere. And now we've just been kind of getting her back into things. And we were supposed to be going, and it was a little hot. She brought her daughter, super, super cute. And the owner told me to watch the oil pressure temperature gauges and make sure that they were good. So I mentioned that to a student, and she got nervous about it. And when we went up, it was closer to that red line on the oil temperature than usual, but it wasn't too bad. But it was one of those things of like letting students make decisions and things like that. And plus her daughter was there, so I definitely didn't want to be pushing things. So we went back and landed. Always a better day for doing it. And her daughter drew a little picture of me. Maybe I can show it in my student's flight. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're just like the cutest. If I on my iPad, there it is. So of course I had to be sent it and download it. Is it? There's me in the eyes of an 8-year-old, I think she is. Oh, that was cute. So yeah, so that was disappointing that we didn't get to go more. But it was a lesson in things. So there was that, more family, personal stuff. And then it was Oshkosh. I got to run up and yeah, so we're just going to finish story times. There's not a whole lot left. I'm really sorry that things aren't working. I'm looking at my frame rate isn't getting any better. I don't think. Hang on. Are we good? My kilobips look bad. But my stability says excellent. Oh, now it's unstable again. Never mind. Oh, I was so excited. Darn. Oh, so close. Never mind. Okay, yeah, so we'll just finish up. I was able to last minute figure out how to, make it work. I went out. went to the recruiting area. I definitely should have prepared more, brought like a resume, or I met somebody who had like a little resume business card, which is an excellent idea. But I didn't. I didn't have time. I meant to, and I didn't end up having time. So I just basically, I went up to one of them and I was just like, all right. So, well, one of them I had already gotten my stuff in for. So I was like, I got it in and everything. Anything else I should be thinking about? Or like, what's the other thing? Oh, like what's like the wait time and stuff like that for like the interview. And yeah, it was the answers were basically just keep doing what you're doing, and like 4 to 6 months, sort of. The fall might be a little bit better, but things are sort of competitive right now. And it's like, okay, cool. And then I went and talked to another one, and it was basically the same thing. Didn't have my stuff in yet, but it was just keep doing what you're doing. It's like, okay. And at that point, I was just like, okay, I could go talk to these other people and just get like the same thing, or I could just go enjoy myself at Oshkosh. So I went and I watched the show, and it was so cool as usual. I enjoyed the F-22, and I mean everything else, obviously. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. And then I was able to stay up another day that I didn't think I was going to, and I ended up meeting up with some. I went to a sort of aerodynamics talk, and that was actually really cool. It was really cool, and it informed some of the stuff that I would like to bring up with students and made things make more sense, and like, yeah, things that I could use for my own instruction. So that was cool. And then I went and met up with some people I was told to meet up with, and met some people there. That was really cool. And then started running around everywhere. And then I was told somebody, I mentioned I was trying for the guard, and one of them said, "Oh, did you go talk to recruiters there?" And I was like, "No." And they're like, "You should." So I was like, "Okay." So then I ran over to the Air Force area, went in there, and walked up to one of them, and started my spiel. And they're like, "Well, we're actually active duty." So you're going to want to talk to whoever's over there. And that booth was like empty. And so I was like, okay. I started walking around. I was going to go walk around the rest of the place. And one of the guys was like, "You want to come do this sim?" And I was like, well, it's kind of it's a VR sim. And so it was going to mess my makeup. But he convinced me to do it. And so I got under the VR goggles, and I did it once, and it was all blurry. So I had to do it again, got everything figured out. And then it was the stick on this side. No, hang on. Yeah, the stick on this side and the throttle on like this side. The first time I completely forgot about using my throttle, and the second time I did it better. And so it was more of a futuristic one. I had to go through the triangles, and then there was the big red stop signy thing that I had to shoot. And I went through it, and I definitely felt like I could have done way better. But I get done, and he's like, "That was the highest score we got today." And I was like, "You tell everybody that." And he's like, "No." So I was like, "Well, I mean, I actually am a pilot, so that probably helps a bit." He's like, "Yeah, that probably explains a bit." So I did. I asked him about the guard things, and there was like, "Oh, somebody over, like there's somebody in the booth now." And so I went over there, and I start my spiel again, and he's also active duty. So he sends me elsewhere. And so I go out, it's by Boeing Plaza. See, I could have recreated my running around if we could get into the freaking sim without everything going nuts. But anyway, sorry. So I went over where he told me to go, and I found it. It was the National Guard booth, and I go up and I start my spiel again, and they're also active duty. And so I back up and I look at the thing, and I look back up at him, and they're like, "So here's the thing, National Guard leaves early." And I was like, "Oh, okay, good to know. But one of the people there gave me the contact info for somebody in the Guard, so I could talk to that person. So I left there, went and sat for a little bit. I was going to check out the rest of the show. I was texting people back because I was, Yeah, it was a lot because I was talking to people. One of the owner of the 172 at my work airport knows somebody, and I've met him before too. So like I actually know him as well. He is also involved in one of the places I'm going to go look at. So I contacted him about, hey, what sort of things can I don't know, what should I do? How can you help me? Sort of a thing. And yeah, so he said, yeah, send me your stuff or whatever. And I was like, I will do that once I get back to my laptop. And then I did. I texted the guard contact that I got and got the text back. Yeah, when are you going to be available? And I was like, well, I have family stuff coming up, and then I'm supposed to have lessons. I was packing. I was supposed to have lessons, and I wasn't quite sure how all of it was going to go. Because the lessons I was going to have was just one of the CFIs at work airport has a student who is also going to be going for a pilot slot, already in the guard, but wants the pilot slot. So is working on the PPL or just the private certificate. It's not a license. So CFI was going to be gone. So students still wanted to fly. So I worked it out like I did. I had wanted to go to Oshkosh. I wanted to go the whole week, but I was like, that's going to be way expensive now that doing it all last minute. So I just kept it to the couple days. And then I would also be able to help this student out because yes, that they're trying for the same slot that I would be trying for. But it's like, you know what? I'm okay. If I like helping people. So if they're meant to get it and not me, that's okay. So we planned to go fly. So that was what was coming up. So I wasn't sure what answer to give of like, okay, I can call this point. And then they're like, well, here's my sort of schedule and you can let me know. We can whatever, figure it out. And I was like, okay, cool. So then finished that out. The F-22 started performing again. So I went out of the little shelter that I was under for sun purposes and went and watched it properly. And there was a guy also doing the same thing that ended up next to me. And he was all excited about the F-22 and we started chatting and everything. And so, yeah, I'm a flight instructor and of course had to nudge him in order to like actually go. He wanted to go do flight training and everything, but hadn't. So I did the little nudge and everything. And it was nice talking to, again, as always, new people, getting them into it potentially, maybe at least going and getting a discovery flight and enjoying that. So did that, handle the rest of the stuff that I had to do. And then, yeah, was able to go do, lesson with, I'm pretty sure that's what it is. Yep. So yeah, so after that, let me just double check. Yeah, so got it worked out. So the new CFI over at work airport, he's involved with some of the people. He has his own hangar and his own plane, and he knows other people that have their own hangars and planes. And one of them has a Tailwheel that he would like to start renting out, I think. But he was going to be gone at Oshkosh, so new CFI wanted to practice his instructor skills on somebody who should already have some capability with a plane. So we planned for that as well. So was able to go, had a nice phone call with that student the week before, talked about a bunch of stuff, and yeah, then was finally able to meet and went over pre-flight prep and procedures, ground ops, taxi and run-ups, crosswind, takeoff and landing, slow flight and recovery, stalls, power off and on, plus recovery, spin awareness, traffic awareness, and collision avoidance. So they have only done a few lessons. So I like slow flight and recovery, getting that stuff really down well. The last lesson they had done was the stalls, and she was a little bit as every student is, still kind of nervous about it. So we worked on it a little bit, and I even let her, and I told her I was going to let her do it. On the power on stall, I made sure she was putting in enough rudder and everything so it broke really well, and it was really simple, really easy for one of them. And then I didn't coach through the having that rudder in, so it did end up breaking a little bit, and she still was able to recover it without me touching anything. So I think that was a good experience for her and for me, because sometimes I do just kind of like to surprise students with things, but I think it can be good to also brief them on the things that I'm going to be or I would otherwise be surprising them with. We talked about the reason why. Oh yeah, so I was supposed to be flying the tailwheel with the new CFI after, and he came on the radio, and I go, really excited, gasp. And I know that this is an issue for me. I've had people say, like, you can't do that. And yeah, so I did. I apologized to her. I was like, I get excited. I'm sorry. I know I shouldn't do that. And she told the story of in the guard, she knew somebody who like gasped or said something on landing in reaction to something they were doing, and they got really chewed out over it. So something for me to keep in mind. So then, yes, went and did tailwheel stuff, did a long sort of pre-brief, pre-flight sort of a thing to understand what's going on with the plane and everything. Got in, and did we end up? Yeah, no. Yeah. Sorry, I'm trying to, we've done 2 flights since. So yeah, so I'm in the front, he's in the back. So he did the takeoff, and then he gave me the controls, and so it's a champ. And one of the big things that he emphasized, and I very much experienced, was how this aircraft had none of the tendencies that got engineered out of, or it has all of the tendencies that got engineered out of trainer airplanes. So like trainer airplanes, I have a very bad habit of not using my rudder. This aircraft, my God, every single movement, and so it was a stick. I'll grab my stick. Don't take that out of context. And I was going to even try to use my stick today so that we could do tailwheel stuff, and I could show you, show you guys this legitimately. So yeah, so like the stick, every single input requires a corresponding rudder input, like literally no matter what you freaking do. So I'd be trying to like, he tried to have me do, what are they called? Dutch rolls. Dutch rolls was what it was. So basically just getting your wing high. So airplane. Actually, hang on. I have. Oh, and it's a tailwheel too. Okay. So, so yeah. So basically, just going like this, keeping the nose in one spot. So when look at. Sorry. So if all you do is go like that, it ends up going like that and going like that. So you really gotta lock in that rudder input. And he shows it to me, and it seems so simple, just keeping it there. And when I do it, it's like, and it was frustrating as heck. And it didn't feel right or normal, or I don't know, but it was a little frustrating. But he was very patient with me. He gave me crap about it too, but that's to be expected. I deserved it. So then he also knows somebody who has a private strip nearby. So we were going to go over there, and it was also a crosswindy day, which I will blame a little bit of it for. But so we went over there, and came in, and I had a couple of okay ones, but not great. And then landings left a bunch to be desired. But one of the things is okay, so like tailwheel as you're going, right? At least for this one, you're holding it back, holding it back, holding it back. I'm trying to like do both these. I don't know if this is helping. So this is how it was. So we also had crosswind. So had the stick back, crosswind correction on the takeoff roll, eventually have to bring it forward a little bit, start balancing it, and keep kind of bringing it forward so that it's not accidentally taking off, because that excess angle of attack ends up, boop, bringing that lift up. But you got to keep it on the ground, those mains on the ground, long enough to then bring it back, right? And take off properly. Nice, lift off. That's different. It made a little bit of sense because like with the multi-engine, you do have to sort of keep it on. Ooh. You have to keep it on the runway until red line, so you got to make sure it doesn't take off too early either. So we did a couple of those. I was hoping to get one in that was like nice, really good, and it wasn't. But we ended up taxiing in, seeing if the guy was there. There was somebody else there. We got to go in and see the guy's planes, maybe that guy's plane, as well as the actual owner's plane. And then we were about to get in and take off again, and the actual owner came back, and we got to sit and chat with him a little bit, and he was super cool, and he gave me permission to come land on his runway whenever I would like to, so that's cool. And yeah, then we took off, and the CFI I was with, he was teaching me wheel landings or 3-point landings. 3-point landings. He was doing 3-point landings because I guess they're easier than the wheel landing. So he was going to try and demonstrate a wheel landing coming back into work airport. And I think he did. Or maybe he bounced a little bit. But it was there's been like a couple of times where when we've been talking and we flew this 182 together. I told that story a while ago, I think. And so there's a little, he's receptive to stuff, but I can also tell that there's like a little bit of like reactiveness to, like, as a new CFI, to certain things. So I have been there, so I have the patience to be like, he'll learn. But yeah, to have a little, like, some humbling experiences to recognize that, yeah, like we're CFIs now and everything, but we still have a lot to learn too, and we are going to make mistakes, and that is okay as long as we fix them and don't break anything and don't teach the bad things. But it is okay. So yeah, that was good. That was really cool, and it really got me more into the whole rudder thing. And yeah, because I needed to be a lot better about that with my multi-engine stuff, and just in general being more aware of that and on top of that and everything. So we'll see what happens from there. So I was supposed to have a call with that guard contact from Oshkosh, but that didn't work out. So then was going to do some tailwheel again. Oh, actually, hang on. That student, the guard student, I was going to be subbing for, we were going to go flying and then do some ground, and she had to cancel because some family stuff. So then just got to go in and do, I forgot about so I flew in the 150 for the first time with that student for the first time in a long time, and it was pretty much fine, but there was something that probably needed to be taken care of. So we were going to get that taken care of, and then the tail wheel needed to get something taken care of. Oh, that's right. Okay. So, well, yeah. There was something on the tail wheel needed to be taken care of. So, so that had to be taken care of. So got there that day. I was just going to be doing tailwheel stuff, but it was a little windy, a little crosswindy, so I wasn't sure if it was like okay enough for the tailwheel. But was hanging out with that CFI while things were getting taken care of, and there was work being done at work airport on the equipment, and the person who works on the equipment was one of my students, so obviously I have to go say hi and bug him. And there was another guy there who has a plane as well. He's a private student, needs to work on his instrument, but just he's a private student now, or a private pilot, sorry, now. So we're all chatting about stuff and figuring stuff out, and went and bugged the guy working on the equipment, and that was cool and fun. And at some point he wants to do his instrument, so that will be good. And then we actually did finally go fly in the tailwheel, just in the pattern, and he sat in front and was just kind of demonstrating stuff, and he was fighting it. So it was great for me. It was super fun for me, but I think he was having, because it was the day before he was having a great time and I was struggling. So then the next day I was having a great time and he was struggling. But no, it was good. And it was good to see that and to kind of try to follow along with how he was doing things. Yeah, and getting a little more cowboy with it. So that was good. Was supposed to have a call, that National Guard call, and that didn't work out. Some personal stuff. And then I had gotten a text a while ago. From a call actually, yeah, from my MEI who had a student who, I'm going to try and piece together what it is. He's at a school, but they're trying to crank out his private, but still very green, been flying, but he wanted me, if possible, to give a mock oral check ride. So I was like, okay, I can do that. And I sent a list of things that I usually go over. And that student was supposed to be gone the next week and then come back this week, and I completely forgot about it. Got a text from him along with another CFI who they're both kind of working together with that student to try and get this done, and was like, hey, would you be interested and available before the end of the week? And I was like, okay. So was able to get it worked out that I could that day. And what do they actually really want? Kind of full mock check ride. And I was like, okay, have all the documents and stuff, have him have all his documents and stuff. So I went there and met his primary CFI, or his now primary CFI, as well as him, and went and got started. And it was rough. So like it does. And I talked about, I wasn't sure what to expect. Yeah, I wasn't sure what to expect, and it definitely wasn't that. There was so much prompting I had to do. He didn't have a navlog, didn't have a weight and balance. Apparently has only done like one of each of those ever. Coming up on check ride within the week with the examiner that I took 3 of my check rides with, and he is intense. So by the end of it, like it was I had to do so much prompting, and he didn't even know that he could look stuff up. But then when I allowed him to like look stuff up, he was constantly looking stuff up. And I did. I was I told my MEI this when we talked about it. I was probably instructing way more than I should have for an actual mock check ride, but it was just like it was painful for me to some degree, but like it was once we like went over stuff and it finally clicked, so like there's potential there, but wow, definitely not where things should be at this point. So the thing is he's part of this aviation school program, and they have certain deadlines, so that's what they're trying to like meet and everything. And it's like, well, I like it's gonna be what it's gonna be, I guess. But that is, I wasn't sure whether or not he was just gonna go regardless, so I didn't want to say you're absolutely not ready or be too disheartening. But I do and I did hope that I got everything got through to him that he really did need to lock in. That was one of the things I said. He needs to lock in. Go through the ACS, use it as a cheat sheet, take notes, go through the sources, practice your performance calculations, do your nav log, weight and balance stuff, understand that. Airspace is a big thing. Had never heard of special VFR. And I know for sure that's at least one question that the examiner really does go for. So yeah, it was surprising to me, honestly. But again, it's like both of my MEI, and his other CFI inherited him, I guess. And so like it is, they just kind of, they're working with what they got. So yeah, so hopefully again, kick in the pants. He's got a little bit of time, so hopefully, but we'll see. Yeah, so, and I felt it was funny because this is the second time that I've been that person to be like, this person needs a kick in the butt, so will you come and do a mock check ride with them? And I was like, so I'm like, I feel very Cobra Bubbles. I am the one you call when things go wrong. So yeah, that was funny. And I'm like, you know what? I would totally be down for that, to be that person to do the mock oral check rides and just lacerate people nicely. If they need it, they need it. And that's the other person who needed it as well, is somebody who was trying to crank through the check ride and wasn't taking it seriously enough and was thinking that they were further along than they were. So yeah, I'm down for it. I enjoy it. So yeah. Yeah. So that was that. And then I was trying to be pushy without being too, again, disheartening with stuff, to be like, you need to lock in and like think about this stuff and do it, whatever. And then when we were done, we went out and I was waiting because there was some questions I wanted to have, or I wanted like answered, or things to bring up with his instructor. And there ended up being other people around. So then I was like, you know what? I don't want to like debrief like here and say like, oh my God, no. So I ended up texting the CFI afterward and be like, are you or MEI, his kind of primary CFI? And that CFI was, I guess. So I sent a long thing about that. And like, I didn't want to say he wasn't ready, because I mean, yeah, didn't want to dishearten, but also wasn't my place. As well as, but I don't know what the examiner's actual threshold is, but I can say for sure that it's going to be tough. Unless like he really, really locks in. So then later my MEI texted or called me and we went over it too. And he did, that's exactly what he wanted, was that kick in the pants sort of a thing, get him to be taking it seriously. And yeah, so we'll see what happens. I wish I would have known a little bit more. I probably would have adjusted my approach a little bit more as well, but we'll see what happens. So yeah, so that was random. And then I think we're just about done. Yeah, yep. There was that, and there was So I had a like distant family relative contact me and be like, a kid in the family, he's like 16. They wanted to do a discovery flight for his birthday. And so would I be available? And I was like, yeah, let's work that out. And that was one of the people I was trying to talk to at Oshkosh as well. And I felt so bad because I left her hanging a little bit. But we got it worked out. We were able to get it set up to go fly. And I went out. So I was going to have a day at home airport, and they were going to be first. And so I got there a little bit early, or like half an hour early, to go get stuff handled and everything. Talked to owners. They had a plane there that was in for annual, and the owner, I guess, was there, and he had a dog there, and it was a big puppy, but it was a puppy, and the thing kind of went a little bit wild. But I like puppies. So talked to the owners again. Haven't seen them in a while, so that was good. I'm going to talk to the other CFI there, also went to Oshkosh, I guess, and he ended up talking to recruiters. And apparently on his resume, because he was smart enough to bring a resume, or organized enough to bring a resume, apparently he had freelance flight instructor on his resume. And apparently the recruiters did not like that, because how do we know that you're not just taking your friends out and about and everything? So I guess I haven't, well, I guess I haven't gotten any feedback specifically in person or whatever about that portion. I did send, so after, so my former instructor, I should say complex instructor from back when, who's now a captain at one of the places I'm applying for, we went and we flew together, and he had just gotten done at captain training, and he had somebody in his class that was a former recruiter. So he said if I wanted my resume looked at, and I asked, what about my cover letter? And he's like, yeah, absolutely. I sent that stuff in. He had him look at it, and he said all of it was fine. I was suspect about it, but okay. So apparently it was fine. So I say independently employed rather than freelance flight instructor. So I guess I don't know if like my way is better or not, but I guess that's an interesting point that, yeah, we're not with like an actual flight school or something. So question mark? I don't know. So he wants to talk about stuff, and me with my like, yeah, I'm in the thick of it, but do I really have all that much experience with it? We'll see what happens. I'll try to be as helpful as possible. So yeah, so we talked about that, and then I went out to go pre-flight the plane, and I noticed a car with people inside it outside the hangar, and I was like, is that the people that I'm supposed to be meeting? And it was. And so they were there early, and they were just driving around trying to figure out where they were supposed to go. So I sent it was, yeah, I think it was his aunt, to go park elsewhere, and he came in around with the pre-flight and everything. We talked about it. He does want to go fly, and he wants to go to like one of the big schools or whatever. And it's like, okay, cool. Get your private done. Cause I think that's like a thing, is if you get your private done, then you can like move on and stuff. So get it done earlier than later. So we went through that, and she was not expecting to be able to go with. And it was funny because that's exactly what happened with my discovery flight. Is my mom went with, and she was not expecting to go with. I was not expecting her to go with, but able to go in the back, and it was really cool. So his aunt did end up coming with, and she was really excited about that, happy about that. And we went and we did a little bit of touring first, and then just kind of got on a nice heading, configured the plane nicely for him, and let him fly a little bit, talked him through the visual stuff and keeping it nice, turns, climbs, descents, and then went back. And they enjoyed it a lot. It was really cool. I felt like a blah, because afterward, I ended up referring to her as his mom instead of his aunt. And I knew that, but I was that expectation bias, I'm so used to parents coming with instead of that. So I was like, ugh, such a dummy. But yeah, sent him the free intro course for sporties to start with, and then let him know to let me know from there. So yeah. And then had lesson with instrument student, new instrument student over at home airport. And we were able to, well, first, he did. His beforehand stuff, sort of the after startup, going through all the stuff, briefed everything, was very thorough about it. That was much better than it has been. And then didn't have anything set in the GPS before we were going to go, like back taxi and everything. And then when he was making his calls, he wasn't putting Cessna in there, or I can't remember some of the other stuff that we've worked on to be more like professionally verbal. Haven't flown in a while, so it all just reverted back to where it had been. So have to get that stuff kind of back. But again, like I said, like the stuff beforehand was good. He was checking all of the things that he was supposed to, for the most part. And so that was good. We take off and I'm looking at his speed and it's like 60. And I'm trying so hard to like that and do that. And so now we're getting later and not getting that time in. And it's one of those things that's like frustrating, because did we just lose things again? Well, that's fine, because we're almost done anyways. Yeah, so that was, it was a little bit frustrating, just because, not just because, but because, again, it's private pilot, been flying out of there for a long time. Yes, it's a new pump, but we have gone over it. And just that, this is one of the reasons why I've been like getting private pilots out of my roster, or private students out of my roster, is so that I can let them go do stuff on their own, so I can be handling stuff elsewhere. And so when I can't do that, it's tough. So then it's been okay so far. I've been letting things go a little bit. We've just been kind of flying around rather than trying to like get at something. But this time she did. She wanted to actually like do stuff. Particularly she wanted to like do steep turns and stuff like that. And that was like, excellent. Okay, cool. So I was trying to let her do more of it, be more independent with stuff and everything, because that's what you need to do. She's already a private pilot, so these are things that she needs to be doing. So there was good stuff, there was fine stuff, and then radio calls need a lot of work. One of the things being is it was consistent then, and she's done it before too. Instead of saying west, she says left. And then I bring that up and she doesn't even remember saying left versus then left rather than west. So that's another one of those things where I'm like, is that an indication of like there's this hitch somewhere? And I was gonna, back when I was gonna try and get her to her through her instrument and everything, and I've basically kind of given up on that, because like it is, we've done things, we've worked on things and everything, and it just the precision is not there. But we'll see. And just like the consistency of flying as well, doesn't fly in the winter. Yeah. So good evening. Hello. How's it going? As you can see, I don't know how stuttery it is right now. For some reason, my computer is not doing well, even without Flight Sim. So we're just finishing up some story times, and then so no multi, no Oshkosh, no Tailwheel, unfortunately. But I hope you enjoy the rest of the stories. I did. I tried to bring the sim in too, and it got even worse. So we're just hanging on for dear life for a moment, and I'll try and figure out what the issue is before next stream. So I do. I appreciate you hanging on. I do apologize for the technical difficulties, and again, hopefully I will be able to fix that for next time. So yeah. So now, I was again trying to let her do more, and she was trying to do more as well. But yeah, trying to make those radio calls and saying the wrong things and not being able to. We've gone over certain things, and yeah, it is. It's just. Yeah, the actual, like, doing actual instruction rather than when we were just kind of flying around and I was just inserting instruction in there. If we're actually trying to get stuff done, it's tough. So we were gonna go up and do slow flight steep turns, but the horizon was pretty obscured. So I decided, I was like, that's not gonna work very well. So should we go and do ground reference maneuvers because we don't need the horizon for that? And after I decided to suggest that, and we decided that's what we were going to do, I remembered how ground reference maneuvers went the last time we tried to do them together. And it first turnaround, like, again, couldn't hold an altitude. I reminded that we're supposed to get down to 1,000 AGL. And she didn't like want to, but it's like you have to. And then couldn't hold an altitude. Doesn't pick an intersection, picks something random, which I've seen that done before, and okay, fine, as long as you can keep an equidistant radius. First one wasn't good. Second one was much better, but didn't take into account the wind. So we had to try and have a talk about the wind, and some of the stuff clicked and some of the stuff didn't. So we moved on to S turns. So she did a couple more, and they were pretty like circular. So it was like, I didn't want to push too much with that stuff, but I did want that wind correction to be at least taken into account at some point. So then when we tried to do the S turns, picks a road that's completely in line with the wind. And I mentioned, like, no, we have to do one that's the other direction because of wind. And she acknowledged, but then went and did the S turns on the road that she was going to do before. It was like, okay, so then what? Did you even hear me? So then we talked about that now, and then I went further into, okay, we need to do it on the east-west one. So go do it on this one instead. So then we were trying to do that, and there was just no uniformity, no organization with, like, do the steeper turn here and like take into account that bank and everything, or that wind, sorry, the wind and then the bank. So we worked on those a little bit, and again, altitude kept climbing, but it was like, at this point, I just want to get this part down. So then she mentioned too that the turns are on a point were, when she was taught them, that instructor did it completely with trim. And I was like, that doesn't make any sense at all. And then I was like, oh, it's probably the steep turns. I've heard of that. And she's like, no, it was the turns around a point. I was like, well, okay, no, you're not going to do them that way anymore if that's what it was. But I do. It's the steep turns. So like there was this, now that we're trying to get back into like actual instruction sort of thing, there was that like pushback against what I was trying to say and teach and explain. And it did, like, we were good for a while when I was being able to just explain things, but like now that I'm actually trying to teach and I'm getting that freaking pushback because it doesn't want to listen to what I'm freaking trying to say, it's like, this isn't what I want to be doing here. But tried. So, and I kept like trying to explain, like, we're practicing for the pattern, we're practicing for the pattern. And then later on, she'd be surprised that we're practicing for the pattern. And so, so it is. It's like, yeah, I don't know. Again, signature, like, yes, my signature is in her book as an instructor, but not as an endorser. So, and I'm not sure I would ever be comfortable doing that. So that was fun. Still working on, like, she has a little iPad thing for her navigation and still has trouble using it. So we had to figure that out. Got into the pattern. I still had to explain things about how to get into the pattern, 2 miles, do the teardrop and everything. Got into the pattern. Again, was not and I was trying to, as I usually do, coming into the pattern, what we just practiced is that wind correction. Put your nose into the freaking wind so we're not getting pushed all the way through downwind. We get pushed all the way through downwind because she was listening to what I was saying. And so then, like, she ends up going like way far out past the runway before turning base. And I had to say, we're getting pretty far out. Then turns base, then starts descending, configuring and everything. Ends up, she lands it, but then, or comes in for landing, does not hold the nose wheel off enough. So I had to help with that. So yeah, so it was, we'd been good for a while. Cause I guess I was just kind of inserting bits of instruction into just kind of a fun flight, but now trying to actually instruct, it's tough. So we'll see where it goes from here. We did some debriefing and I tried to do like whiteboard stuff. I tried to explain, I tried to do that, whatever. But I don't know how much is actually being received. Like, it's acknowledged as received, but then is it actually being received? So yeah. Anyway, so there's that. And then I was finally able to get my call in with my guard contact that I got at Oshkosh. And yeah, had a good talk with her. And one of the things she suggested was doing a video. And I'm like, I understand that yes, that like putting that with the package, I understand that would probably be a standout sort of a thing. And it has been in the past for at least one other person, she said. And I'm like, okay, at this point, I'm not sure I'm going to have time to do it. Plus, I don't want. But we'll see. We'll see if I can get that taken care of, done, whatever. But otherwise, yeah, I'll be working on getting another package out and see where it goes from here. So yeah. Getting back into the grind a little bit. And then also, yeah, really trying to get my applications out. So that was another thing. So the contact I have at work airport with one of them, he mentioned like the internal letter of recommendation. And on one of the places that I had applied for a while ago, they had a spot to put the internal, like, say that you have an internal letter of recommendation on your application, but I didn't see that on my application for this one. So I was like, oh no, am I going to be able to do that? But apparently that's on their end that they have to do it. So I was like, okay, now I can get that done. And then him and somebody else I actually have too will be able to put their internal recommendation in, hopefully, and we'll see from there. Then I got other ones that I gotta, yeah. So paperwork. So my MEI currently is on hold a bit because I'm trying to get those things out. And then at this point, I also have to, there's all this stuff for interviews that I have to get together. Stories and studying. I got to do jet charts. I got to learn turbine stuff, part 121 operations and procedures and stuff like that. So I'm not sure if if I am going to be able to like quick crank out the rest of my MEI and then move on to that, or if I need to put it on hold indefinitely for a little bit. I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see. We're in a bit of a limbo here, but we'll see what happens. So yeah. Yeah. I think that was it. Yeah. Good. Good. Yes. So that was it. I do. I apologize. My title is completely misleading for what this ended up being, but I'm still at 65% drop frames. I assume it has something to do with me having to update my OBS studio and it not, I don't know, it adjusted settings or something, and now stuff is so we'll see. I apologize. Thank you for being here. And yeah, again, I apologize for the technical difficulties. And oops, gotta go here, do this. Yeah, I did. I had this whole plan. We were gonna IFR in the multi over to Portage, get in the Tailwheel, go fly the Oshkosh arrival, do a little playing around in the Tailwheel, and then yeah, do our usual wander around Oshkosh for a little bit in a Tailwheel. But yeah, sorry, it was not to be, I guess. But yeah, that's all I got for now. I wish it would have gone better. I wish I had more time to be doing these things. I am hoping next month I will have a little bit of a better. Hello, Catherine. Thank you for the subscription, the resubscription. I appreciate you so much. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that you still feel willing to subscribe even after this debacle today. Well, and again, so over here, my thing says that the stream is excellent quality. The slideshow looks great. Excellent. I'm glad. I'm sorry. We tried. Ugh. Yeah, I am. I'm really disappointed. I was looking forward to getting back in the sim. I haven't simmed since the last time we simmed together. So yeah, but we'll see. I do think at this point, yeah, for the next 4 to 6 months to a year to whatever, it's going to be a little bit tricky as oops. Oh, sorry. I'm playing with my airplane and I was putting the, I was trying to do the propeller the wrong way and it didn't want to do it. There we go. Yeah, so now that I'm getting into the application process and hopefully the interview process and then hopefully the training process ASAP, it's going to be a little bit crap for a while when it comes to, again, scheduling and timing and things like that. But we'll see. If I can at least get somewhat of a more structured schedule, that would be nice. But we'll see. And I did do the thing. Heidi ho there, Heidi ho. Have to do it. But I appreciate you guys. I'm really sorry for how this went down today. I wish I had more time to figure it out, to fix it, to whatever. But yeah, tis what tis for this time, I guess. My stream session, 17 minutes. No, it wasn't. But yeah, I do. I'm gonna keep apologizing. I'm sorry. But, and I don't know, maybe we'll call it for now, but maybe I'll sit and fiddle with it a little bit and see if it fixes it. I will. I'll try to fiddle with it a little bit. Maybe I'll kind of start stream again and see if it works or fixes or something. I don't think I'll be able to actually pop into the sim even for a little bit, because I wasn't going to be able to stream that long anyway. But yeah, we'll see. I will try and work on getting it fixed, and hopefully next time will be better. So thank you guys for putting up with the technical difficulties. It's like I get one stream a freaking month and this happens. But it is what it is. We learn, we get better, and we move on, I guess. So anywho, yeah, thank you guys so much for being here. Whoever got lost and found their way here or found their way back, thank you so much for being here and found their way back and back and back again from all of the restarts of the stream. Apologies. Yeah. Whoever got lost and found their way here or found their way back, thank you so much for being here. Appreciate it very much. Thanks for putting up with me and my shenanigans and my technical difficulties and my long-windedness and all of that. I do. I really appreciate it. And yeah, hopefully, as of right now, I do think that I'll be able to have a good. Let me look at what the schedule is. It's gonna be. The next time I'll be able to stream will be, as per usual, the last week of the month. So that'll be August. That would be good. I won't say for sure, but I would like it to be, I think, unless something happens, that last weekend in August. That way maybe I can do my usual evening time and it won't be such an issue technically. So technologically, I should say. So yeah, so that's kind of the plan for now. If I get some time the week before, maybe I'll do it that last full week. Maybe we'll do it then, but otherwise we'll see from there. So I don't know. It is. I'm just going with the flow at this point. So yeah. Anywho, before I start thinking of other things to babble about, I'll let you guys go. I'm sorry. Thanks for being here and everything and putting up with me and the things. As I've said, if I've forgotten anything, I mean, brain is still mush. We didn't do quite as much as we usually would have or anticipated doing, but still mush. So yeah, I'll let you guys go. Yeah, that's it. That's it for me. If you guys wanted to go somewhere, you can let me know. Otherwise, I'll probably just kind of end it since there's not really that much there to, I don't know, transition from the flying or the simming to the simming. It's just me babbling to that. So let me know. But otherwise, yeah, I'm sorry. I'll talk to you guys again soon. Be well until then. Hope to see you again soon. Until next time, all the good things. So once again, I feel so bad. I'm going to be, I'm sorry, and I appreciate you guys. And we'll do better next time. So thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good, again, whatever it's going to be for you. And hopefully see you next time. Thank you. And bye.